Welcome back to the hottest marriage show in our neighborhood. It's I, John D. N.
Kanika,
aka And Too Much Podcast, Rescripting the culture, one conversation at a time. How are you doing?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm well, thank you for asking. Still recuperated from this past week, but I'm so happy that today is Saturday, and I'm so happy that the front yard doesn't have to be worked on as much as it did at one point.
Yeah.
And it's raining. For me, it makes me feel like we're being rewarded, or it's being...
Buddha, we'll have to be out there watering it. True enough. Yeah. I'm glad to... I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I think it's been rough.
There's a lot of walking.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of working, walking, and everything else.
Yeah.
So what's going
on? Nothing. Winding down the school year. And we have like 20 days left, I think. Yeah, I think. Somewhere 22 days left. And I'm looking forward to resting before I go back for summer school.
I don't get any rest, but yeah, I hear you.
Well, you know, I'm going to still work over the summer, though. It's a different relaxation where you don't have to deal with other people's kids.
That's true. Shoot, not even our own. Ours are trying to go do stuff all over the summer, so that's true.
What's on your mind?
I want to ask you a question. So I want you to tell me, why are we friends? And you can't say anything about loving me or anything. Just like, why?
I can answer this in so many different ways, but I think we're friends now because we're married. But I think that we have a lot of things that we can recall, like in a specific time period. I don't have to say too much for you to understand. I think that we have a lot of things in common as far as the way we want to parent. I think that we enjoy a lot of things like just aged grapes.
Yeah.
Like I feel like we have things in common where we can appreciate it multiple times throughout our lifetime. Like when you have a friend, something you want to like, well, you don't have to like, you can be vulnerable with. Yes. So I think that with me, we're friends because I could be vulnerable with you, more vulnerable with you than anybody else.
Okay. So let me narrow the scope. If you're thinking about me as a person, what is it about me that made you want to get to know me, to be my friend? Let's say in 2001, what was it that made you want to be my friend?
I think just arrogant ego, like you try to play me like I was nobody. That's selfish and lame as far. Yeah, that's all it was then. But from what I could tell, like your conversation was just different. It was more than just that time period. You talked about your future because I was thinking about all of the conversations that I kind of like wouldn't cause me to be engaged with somebody. And I think about the conversation. I was like, I was real judgmental on conversations. I knew what it was. I knew what kind of relationship it was going to be depending on the conversation for sure. And I think your conversation made me feel like if it has to be more, this is what I will want.
So,
because I wasn't thinking about a relationship then.
Right. Well, that's kind of odd though, because when you're meeting somebody, you say you're looking at the conversation and it tells you what kind of friendship it's going to be. Mm-hmm. But the way you described it is like you're measuring whether or not somebody can be more.
Yeah.
You didn't want a relationship.
No, I'm saying like if you were to look back at it, I said if I look back at all the relationships, it had a lot to do with conversations.
Okay.
Like I think as I got older, I felt like what I wanted is what other people wanted, and I wanted to help them get there. And I thought everybody wanted to be happy. So I think there was it was almost like a mentor type thing. Like I want to help this person get on the right track.
You were planning to mentor me?
No, I'm saying as I got older, I realized where people were in their life. You can just tell the type, like I said, the type of relationship. Like
I remember you used to have conversations. You were like, oh, she needs help with this or she needs help with that. Did you ever do that for me
What do you mean?
or in describing me, saying it to other people? Oh, she needs help with this. She needs help with that.
No. Like you, that's what I said. Like you're probably the most polished person overall, I think. You just, I don't know, there's a lot of things that I don't even know the things that you didn't know about for real, because your response didn't make it seem like you didn't know what you were doing.
I was mentoring him. The tables had been turned. No, but okay. Yeah, I remember you used to say that all the time about people. You know, I just want, did you go to class? I'm like, you never say stuff like that to me. But I mean, you didn't have to, because.
Well, our conversations talked about stuff, though. We talked about like education, and I knew how important it was. So that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what like, if you can get past that, and then we can talk about other things. It's like, you know where people are. You know, sometimes you think like you can bring people up to where you are, but they got to be willing to want to do something like that. But it took me like years to realize that. That's why I said like our relationship is so dope, because not only our age difference, because it puts us in the same time period of so many things, but like it's just easier to talk to you. You know, I don't have to. If I say like back in my day, like, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I don't have to like candy was a nickel. No, it wasn't. We grew up at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Like because if we grew up in different time periods, you have to just take me for what I'm saying is real. Like, but yeah, it's easy to keep each other accountable on what we remember. That's why it's easy to be your friend. That's what I said. Like, now people are going to want the relationship that we created, because if you can wake up to that feeling with this person every day, it can only get better. So that's why I said, like, the information I know now, we could have got there in our 20s.
Yeah.
If I would have known this, like, I would have been like, oh my God, we would have been hurt cold.
Well, let me say why you're my friend.
I wish you would have answered first.
You're my friend because you weren't judgmental, even though he says he's judgmental. Like,
I wasn't judgmental in the way that you felt like it was judgmental.
Like, judgmental to me was coming up and going into college. It was like really, there were a lot of things. Like, they'll talk about how, you know, when you get into college, you're at the point where you've been influenced by your parents, you've been influenced by your peers and where you've grown up, the culture and environment you've grown up in. Now you get thrown into an area where it's just a free for all, like different practices, different beliefs, different cultures, all this other stuff. And I was trying to figure out what I wanted to throw away and what I wanted to keep from everything I've ever learned. And it didn't matter what I said to you. It was like, I didn't say anything that would make you be like, what? Oh, that's that. None of that happened with you. I would say that, and your conversation was like very interesting. He was, it's really sad about the whole ego thing. Yeah, I didn't want to be I liked him when I met him. I thought he was really interesting and he was attractive. But then it was like a girl that he was dealing with that I met, and I liked her. I might have said this before on here before. I liked her. And I was like, I didn't like a lot of the females I met on campus. I don't know why. I just didn't really click with anybody, but I just liked her vibe. And so I was like, when I figured out that the guy she was talking about was him, I was like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. And then I tell him that, and I was like, And, you know, his whole thing is he's not in a relationship with anybody.
If I would have known that, it would have been different.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I wouldn't have like pursued anything, because I would have respected that.
Oh, okay.
No, I thought it was all me. Like, you just was not in her. I just couldn't understand that.
No, So I was like, I'm not messing with that. And so then he took on the whole, I'm me. Like, I'm him. So I don't understand why she don't want to talk to me. And then he like it was calls and the conversations were long. Like we get on the phone, conversation would be 2 hours and it wouldn't be anything. Like it'll be everything. We talk about everything. So I thought that was really cool. I felt like you could, even if we weren't going to, because I didn't intend to be romantically involved with you at all. You could be like one of those, like one of your best friends, your best guy friends. That's how I saw it. Even though I had already been developing one of those relationships with a mutual friend. That was like my best guy friend on campus. And then you came along. But yeah, definitely the conversation, the openness. And you were really fun. You like to, I don't want to say play devil's advocate, which you often did. But it was just like you were unpredictable. So it was fun. So yeah. And then to watch you with some of your other friends, like it wasn't like you were fun or you were like all the time you were on 10. And I was like, this dude is like really fun. So what I didn't realize was that he didn't really want to, like once we were together, all the fun stopped. He was like, fun stops here because the friends are over here. And this is like, we're taking care of a family and we're doing this and we're doing that. And then it became our business. It was very odd.
I want you guys to understand this. I just learned so much. Like look, that's the importance of these conversations. Like just our relationship with God wouldn't have gone any further if you'd have told me the reason why. But not only that, I just learned here, you said that the fun stopped and I didn't realize what you meant until just now. Like I didn't, because like I felt like the role of a husband, I didn't know how to be. I thought it was supposed to be like, I gotta be like a certain way. And like, I didn't even understand when you was just like, there's certain parts of you that, like now I understand, like, but I guess I guess I'm trying to figure out the boundary thing because I know that I can make jokes out of anything and it can be very offensive. And I don't know what's too far. So like before, I really didn't care because I felt like anybody could cross a boundary with me. And as long as it's funny, I'm going to laugh. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? If it's not funny, I'm probably going to dog you out for like taking people's attention away from me. I was crazy. Oh my God.
And that's exactly what you would do. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
But I just learned that. I turned it off because, and I do, like, I don't know how to have fun and just to shoot and to shoot. Mm-hmm. I don't know how to do that anymore because I feel like I've wasted so much time.
But I mean, even when we were younger parents,
that's what I'm saying I thought because I had to be a certain person, but I don't want to be that person like that. I don't want to be strict. I don't want to be the boogeyman.
Yeah.
I don't.
He's the boogeyman.
And to everybody in the house, I am the boogeyman.
I mean, not today.
I am like I know, like she knows when I'm serious. It's just like it's like she's a deer in the headlights. Oh my God! But I don't want her to be that person either. I want her to be like, but none of that. It's like everybody knows. It's like it's too much seriousness.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be that person. And I got to work on that. I just don't know what's going too far with boundaries. That's what it is, because I feel like this is when I realized that I was crossing boundaries and I could possibly offend people and that's not what I wanted. It kind of hurt me as a person because I know I hurt a lot of people's feelings, but nobody was going to tell me, but I don't want to be that person like I was doing. And with the kids, I feel like I want them to respect whoever, like, I don't want them to walk on eggshells, but I want them to be able to say a joke where everybody can enjoy it. And before, I didn't care, and I don't want them to have that part of me. So I think because I don't know what's too far, I don't want them to pick that up from me. If they're going to be disrespectful, they need to get it from you, because I was disrespecting people regularly.
No, I even with them, they know what can hurt someone's feelings, and they don't want to do that.
I don't know about your son.
Yeah. The things that make him laugh.
Or at the expense of others.
Sometimes.
Majority of the times.
Yes. So yeah, he wanted, you know, this the oddest thing is that you and Dallas are so different, but you are like, you're the same, but you just present differently. Like the things you do, the behaviors, the things that are key to your character, they are identical in name, but just not in expression. So that's so interesting. And he actually brought that up to me one day when he was talking to me about some of his traits. And he was like, you know, and I think that it's funny that I used to think that y'all were so very different until I started like listening to you both describe one another. Y'all know that you're like the same.
I think I understand your relationship now. He's what you think I'm supposed to be.
How is that?
For real. Like, you enjoy his company. You enjoy our company, but it's different.
You know the other...
It is.
It is different because y'all are different people.
Yeah, I know, but you would probably like if he could be more gentleman-like and more mature in certain aspects, you would like want to be around him all the time.
Well, he's my little homie.
That's what I'm saying. So if I had some of that, you'd probably like.
Well, I like the presentation. I like the differences in presentation. It reminds me of like when people talk about men and women who are from the same, what are those things called? Astrology sign or whatever. Like you and I have similar characteristics, but we present differently. It's the same. I mean, it's, you know, that's my little homie though. And that's probably why he and I, because for some reason, well, people used to talk to me about John, they'd be like, I don't know how you do it. They'll look at me and their face will really be like that. Like, how are you with this dude day in and day out? Because he's a different type of character. But I guess I work well with this type of character. Mm-hmm. So we made another one of them and I do well with that character too. You know what though? Look, I noticed this though. I told Day, you know, we've talked before about boundaries with Dallas. I'm not good with boundaries. I've never been good with boundaries when it comes to, I'll say anybody. Like, I try to gently urge someone to make the choice to respect a boundary that I call a boundary, but I don't set it. I don't set it with people. And I used to struggle with that. I loved working with kids. I love working with teens, but I was not good at setting boundaries with them. And so that's how I knew I couldn't, because you have to. So it was the same way. Like I remember when some of my friends met you and some of the things you would do, they'll be like, how do you deal with him? Like, really? And I'd be like, what? You know, and it wouldn't faze me because my issues with boundaries. And so then when we talk about our son, John would be like, you don't set any boundaries, because a lot of if it's funny to me, then I'm like, you know, I'll laugh it off or whatever. But I'm learning about setting boundaries. And so I was telling Day, because Day that sister can set a boundary for anything. Look, Day could set a boundary and a spider won't walk over that boundary. They'll be like, okay, you know what? I don't even speak her language, but I feel like it's clear. So with her, Day is very, with the boys, she'd be like, no, or why did you do that? Everything is like the guillotine on you. Like she off with their head. When she talks to them, it's like there's no mistaking that she didn't like that or she doesn't want that. And so one day I was saying to her, I said, Day, you know, sometimes you get more with honey than you do with vinegar. Like when you talk to the boys and you're so like harsh off the rip, it makes it where, you know, you might get some type of pushback. And I had to go back and then say to her, scratch what I said, because that's my problem. My problem is to set boundaries. And if she can set strong boundaries and she don't have any issue with doing it, why would I stop her from that? Why would I cause her to doubt? Because people need that. Mm-hmm. And for her, she's this small little person, and you wouldn't think the way that she presents, like when she's comfortable with you, she's very sweet, she's lighthearted and, soft spoken. But when that girl said about you, that thing be real. Mm-hmm. And you need to stop. And so that's one of the things about Day. It's funny because I can find the parallels between you and Dallas now. But Day is like maybe everything I've always wished I could be. That's what she is. She will wear whatever she wants to wear. She will, like, her interests are so very, it wasn't guided by any particular culture. Like this week we were talking about how growing up, we were guided by BET, Yo MTV Rap. There was a Black culture. And so we fell in line with the Black culture, and then that's how we presented. That's what we like. That's who we are. And our kids didn't have that. They're whoever they want to be. They is probably everything that I wished I could have had the confidence to be when I was younger. I don't see a reflection of who I was at all in her. But I love that part. Because a lot of my weaknesses, the things that I'm not good at, Day is great at it. So I'm going to actually have to see, like, and there are things about Dallas that I can see myself there. But I'm really going to have to start really looking and devoting more time to figuring out more about Day. Because I want to see a bit of a reflection of me. Or maybe...
Well, I don't see anything in me either. I think she's just her own person.
She is. But I love that for her. Because she didn't pick up any of my bad habits. And that part is great. But yeah, yeah, definitely.
Well, anybody you want to give a shout out before we get out of here?
Oh, the kids. Love those kids.
Yeah, they give you moments where you can just talk about so much change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. They're like I really do believe that they're like the best. They have the best parts of us. I think that they're amazing. And every time I think that I have them figured out, I don't. Yeah. They're the new ones. I'm trying my best to be in the running for best friend with them in their adulthood. I would really like that.
I think they'll enjoy that journey of establishing that relationship early as possible, because we definitely want them all to win.
Yeah.
And hopefully they know what we're capable of, because we definitely made a lot of mistakes and learned a lot of experiences where they don't have to wait the same ones we made. And so let's do that. And hopefully they can find a friend in their spouse, their mate.
Yeah.
And continue that generational wealth of great relationships.
Yeah, I hope so. Even better than what we have, yeah.
Absolutely. Y'all make today better than yesterday. Don't worry about anything you can't control. GATA. Get after that action, or that action will get after you. Be great on purpose.